Hello, welcome back. I'm Richard the Painter. Today we're back on the MG. I just thought we'd have a go with this door. So everything's epoxied if you'd seen the previous videos. If not, go and have a look at them. So on one of the doors we fitted a new skin, so that won't need any filler work. But the old door does. So where are we? Driver's side we fitted the skin, passenger side has got a load of dents on it. Now in hindsight, if I'd have seen all these dents, I'd have probably just got two skins and be done with it. But what I don't want to do is be taking the epoxy off really, and I don't want to be loading it all full of filler and stuff like that. So I'll show you in a second anyway, but there's a few little shallow dents on it. Now every car's going to have a bit of filler in it somewhere, certainly classic cars. Our aim is today is to try and minimise the amount that we're putting in. So normally you might have like a little bit to sharpen an edge, or a little bit around an edge that's been banged in the past or something like that. So basically what I use is a few options. So you can bare metal it, pin pull, stud puller, that type of thing. I will show you a video on that on something else down the road. But just for what we're trying to achieve here, because it's already epoxied, so I don't really want to be bare metal in it again and then have to re-epoxy anything. So any filler work that we do can be done on top of the epoxy with sort of like a 180 grit scratch. So we have sort of PDR rods and stuff like that, so that's my first option. I'm going to have a quick go with them, just see if I can improve it, and then we'll stick a little bit of filler in to see if we can start blocking the door today. And then hopefully next week we can get it primed, and you'll see that coming along slowly as well. So I'll spin you around so you can have a look. I'm waffling. Now I'm not a PDR man, technician, or anything like that. Don't pretend to be, not implying I am. But if something's low and I've got something I can put behind it and push it back up, then that's kind of the gist of it. But as far as I'm concerned, some of them people deserve a medal. Some of the stuff they can do is just fantastic. Me on the other hand, I'm not as experienced, shall we say. So I do have a set of rods, which I'll show you briefly, quickly. And I think with anything, it's more practice. The more practice you do, the better you'll get at it eventually. So we'll just take you out of there. So these are the rods. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. Here's a full set. There's various stuff. I got a whole section of PDR stuff. It's something I'm actually interested in doing, and I've done quite a bit of it. We use a lot of it to I think the Americans call it push to paint. So you would try and improve as much as you can before you send it over to the panel lads, if you like, and then the panel lads will do their bit, the painters will do their bit. But because we do everything from start to finish here, I try and do that to minimise. If I don't have to weld on a vehicle, I won't, as in a stud welder. Some of the modern cars are full of that much technology. If you can avoid it, then I think personally that's better. So what we'll do is we'll try and use the rods as best we can just to try and improve the dents. I'm probably waffling. Naturally, the important thing, got a coffee sat there waiting for me, I can sup on in between stuff. So the door itself, what we've done is we've marked every mark on it, which makes it look horrendous. And some of these, to be honest with you, is very minor. Probably won't even try with that one. This one's quite deep, so I'd be more inclined to try with that. You can feel that one quite a lot. I don't know if you can showing up well on the camera or not, to be honest. You might be able to see it. These little bits here, these are just like little marks, nothing major. There is a quite a hefty dent in there, if you just make that out. And again, very minor marks on there. So yeah, that is such a small ding there. Problem is, if you don't deal with it now, so if we didn't epoxy and you missed it, and then you've painted the whole car, and then you go in the next morning and you're debagging it, and then you spot that little tiny ding on the door, you're going to be absolutely gutted, because the customer's paying you to sort that out. So this is why we always double check everything, and hopefully we don't have that problem. Now with dents, you can end up with, so although we've got a low, round here is possibly a tad high. We call that crowning. You might see it better, a bit dusty now. You might see it better there. So you can see it's sort of higher here and here. Definitely lower in there. So once that lower piece comes back out, we can have a tap round on them crowns and see if we can get them crowns back down. So what I'm going to try and do is put you on time lapse, and hopefully it works better in here because this is in my workshop. So let's put you back in there. There we go. And then we'll spin you back round so you can see the door. You can roughly see what I'll be doing. I'll be messing around in there anyway. Right, and then we'll yeah, let's see how this time lapse works. Right, back again. So a couple of things, couple of bits in the middle. The sound deadening pads on the back of these doors are really thick, so I can't really improve the middle too much. I managed to get the crease up a tiny bit. I'll just unclip you from here again. Battery's going dead again. That's cool. So the crease that was in there, I mean, you could just feel it in there. Same as here as well. That crowned area around here is sort of sunk back down now. See, we've just picked up that edge again. I don't know how that looks like on the camera, to be honest with you. You just make it out a little bit there. So again, you see now we can get it a little skim put in there, a little skim to tidy up. There's going to be nothing deep in there filler work wise, so I'm just clipping you back in there. So we'll get that done. Well, hopefully that time lapse works. Well, I'm sure it works, but when we did it in the booth it was flickering terrible, and I couldn't. Somebody did comment about changing the shutter speed, but I couldn't do it on the time lapse bit. Get there in the end. So what I'm going to do is give this a quick key up where I need to, and then we'll just use a small amount of filler here and there. Just fill up a few of these dings and tidy it up, and then we'll carry on next week. Right, I'll get this keyed up and I'll come back to you. Right, welcome back. Right, so what I've done is I've keyed it up with a 120 because that was the first one that grabbed. You can use a 180, it's fine. So we've just keyed it up enough. We're trying not to break through, but we've just keyed it up enough so we know what we're going to put on will stick. As far as I'm led to believe, I might be wrong, you can just fill over the top of this. I always prefer a mechanical scratch, if you like, so I wouldn't fill over that without keying it up first, and I wouldn't recommend anybody else without keying it. It doesn't hurt, even if you don't have to. It doesn't take long, so why risk it? So what I'm going to use is, this is very fine filler that we're going to use. It's very small little tiny dings, so I'm going to use a product called U-Pol Dolphin Glaze. I will explain the fillers in another video, but this is like self-leveling compound, if you like, and for what we're trying to achieve here, I think it should have enough build to it. Some people do mix and match them. I've seen people mix this with normal filler just to thicken that filler, but thicken this one, thin that one, and try and get a more smooth consistency. Again, I'm a bit old school. I really like mixing it. So if it was a deeper repair, I would use a deeper design product. These are only very, very shallow, so I'm just going to use that. Should be fine. Right, well, we'll get that mixed up, and then we'll get it applied. So I'm going to spin this round so you just see what I'm doing. Right, we don't need a lot, so we're not have a lot. Just give it a squeeze, get a blob of that, pop that back over there. I always use, everybody's different, but that to me normally works. And again, when you're mixing it, try and flatten it out. We're not wanting to introduce any air to it. We just want to flatten it out if we can. Make sure it's all uniform in colour, so there's no bright areas, no dark areas, no red poking through anywhere. Right, and then all we need to do, try and clean that off as best you can, set yourself up properly. No rush. Just going to apply that where we think we need it. Now, we don't have to be massively precious, but the neater you are with this, the less sanding you've got to do. So I normally find it a bit better just to take your time. Just make sure the edges are nice. See there, there's hardly anything there, look. There's hardly anything there either. So you can see how thin I'm putting that on. Depending on what we're doing and how far we're going, we might be tempted to use a spray polyester, a spray filler. So we'd block that down. I like to get as much as we can done beforehand, because then the polyester spray filler, if you like, doesn't have to do as much work. Get plenty of that on. See, it's so minor, I don't know if you can even see that with the on the camera, to be honest with you. Just making sure I've got a little something in there each one. Again, everybody's different. I don't like to leave big hard edges on the filler either, so I tend to, you'll see me just nipping around there and just taking the edges off. Now we haven't fitted these doors yet either, so we've had a new skin on one and a bit of filler work on the other, so before it even goes much further, just clean that off. Right, so that's basically that. So that's going to look, probably looks a mess to start with. That'll get sanded down again, and then we'll fit the door. And then when we get ready for high build stage, we'll come back and do another video. So this is basically us tidying this door prior to us fitting. So we've been doing a lot of filler work on the car, which you'll see shortly in another video. There's quite a bit to tidy up, but I like to get as much as we can done with the other stuff. The bonnet's got quite a lot in it, so we're going to have to more than likely be a tad creative with that one. And after all that waffling, I missed one. Not that you can see anyway, but just put that in there. There we go. Yeah, so what we've got to do now, I think I've already just said that anyway, haven't I? So we've got to sand that. I will more than likely just put a little spray epoxy over the top of it just to keep it nice for now. We just have like an aerosol version as well, just purely for stuff like this. So we'll just coat that back up after we've sanded it, and then once we've fitted the doors, gapped them, made sure that we're happy with everything, we can take them back off and then go down the high build route. So for me, hopefully that's next week. For you, that'll be a few videos down the road, because we've got a few bits to do in between time yet. So hopefully this wasn't too boring for you. It is part of the job, and I will don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and right, that's it for me this week. So I'll join us next time. We'll hopefully have some primer on, we'll have some more bits on the car, the bonnet and the boot lid, the other door. Don't forget to check out my other videos. We've got a few bits coming out. I'm going to try and do 2 a week for a while, see how that goes. If I can squeeze the odd few bits in, I will do. Any how-tos or anything like that, if anybody's interested, give me a shout, we'll see if we can do that. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe, if you don't mind. I was thinking that. Right, see you on the next one. Cheers for now.